Welcome to Mac Moments. I am Melissa Chavez, founder and CEO. This podcast is a space for honest conversations about focus, leadership, and what it really looks like to build and grow a business in real time. Each episode is a moment to slow down, think clearly, and move forward with intention. Let us get started. Welcome back to Mac Moments. Over the last several months, I have had the greatest opportunity to sit down with business owners, leaders, entrepreneurs, and community builders from different industries, different backgrounds, and even different countries. Some of these folks own service businesses, some lead teams, and some of them are building something brand new. And some have spent decades growing their own careers. And what has fascinated me is this. While their businesses look completely different, the lessons keep sounding the same. The more conversations I have, the more I realize that success, it actually leaves clues. And the clues aren't nearly as complicated as social media would have us believe. They are actually just pretty simple. Relationships create opportunities. One of the biggest themes that continues to show up is the relationships. Leslie Watts talked about it. Trent Hurd talked about it. Glenn Bushell talked about it. Ron and Sheena Hicks talked about it. All of these people are in different industries. They have different experiences, they have different businesses, but they all have the same answer. Relationships, not the marketing tactics, it's not little hacks or shortcuts, it's relationships. Business is still built person to person. While technology obviously has changed, the platforms have changed, the algorithms have changed, but people still want to do business with people they know, like, trust, and connect with. When I look back at my own journey, every major opportunity I've had can be tracked back to a relationship, not an advertisement, nor a campaign, but actually a person. Someone who opened a door, someone who made an introduction, or perhaps someone who shared an opportunity, or even believed in me before I believed in myself. Relationships create the opportunities, and opportunities create growth. Most people wait too long. The second theme that kept showing up was something I think of a lot. Many of us struggle with. We wait until we're ready, wait until we know enough, wait until everything feels perfect. The problem is that perfection never arrives. Ron and Sheena were building their business while still working. Allie was building a business in a brand new city. Trent started with consistency and patience. Glenn spent years developing expertise before most people ever heard his name. Nobody felt fully ready. They started anyway. I think sometimes we assume successful people had confidence first. That's not reality. But after talking with all of these guests, I think the opposite is true. Action created confidence, not the other way around. They took a step, then another, then another. And over time, confidence followed. Growth is not always fast. We live in a world that celebrates rapid growth, overnight success, viral moments, and massive launches. But the reality is that most Successful businesses don't grow that way. Glenn's success wasn't overnight. It wasn't sudden. It wasn't something that went viral. It was years of expertise, years of relationships, and years of showing up. The same is true for Trent. The same is true for Ron and Sheena. The same is true for Allie. What I continue to see is that sustainable growth usually looks like it's boring while it's happening. It looks like consistency. It looks like repetition, showing up when nobody is paying attention. And it looks like doing the work before the recognition even arrives. Honestly, that's what makes it sustainable. Build something worth scaling. Another lesson that kept surfacing. It's the importance of building something valuable before trying to grow it. This is where Trent's conversation really stood out. He wasn't trying to be the cheapest, and he wasn't trying to grow the fastest. Trent's focus was on creating value. And I think that's a lesson every business owner needs to hear. Growth is not the goal. Building something worth growing is the goal. So many businesses focus on getting bigger before they focus on getting better. But if the foundation isn't strong, growth only magnifies the problems. Build the systems, go ahead and build the processes, build the experience, build the value. Then you scale. Connections compound, the final theme I've noticed this season. Over time, Glenn in the UK, Allie in Huntsville, Trent locally, Ron and Sheena through franchise ownership. All of these people had different stories, but they had the same principle. One relationship led to another, then another, and another. And eventually those connections created opportunities they couldn't have predicted when they started. I think that's the thing about relationships. You rarely know in the moment which conversation is going to matter. You don't know which introduction will change everything. You don't know which coffee meeting turns into a client, a partnership, a friendship, or a new opportunity. But that's why they matter. Connections compound. If there's one thing these conversations have reinforced for me, it's this. You do not need to be ready to start, but you do need to be intentional enough to begin. You don't need every answer. You don't need the perfect plan. And you don't need certainty. You need movement. You need consistency. You need relationships. And you need the willingness to take the next step before you fully feel prepared. Because the relationships you build, the ones you build today, may create opportunities you can't even see yet. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Mac Moments. I am Melissa Chavez. Until next time, keep building with intention. Thank you for spending this moment with me. If today's conversation resonated, I invite you to follow Mac Moments on your podcast platform so you do not miss future episodes. Growth does not happen all at once. It happens moment by moment. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to our next conversation.